Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Nish Bunny. Today we have with us All India Ranker 2 in the Jan 26 attempt of CA final, CA Anirudh Garg. I'm so glad to have him for you guys on our channel. And now let's enjoy the. Hmm. Okay, so before we kind of go through the questions and everything, let's start with a normal introduction of CA Anirudh Garg, All India Ranker number 2 in the Jan 26 attempt. So tell us something about yourself. Why did you choose the Chartered Accountancy course? Where did it all start? What did you have in your mind?
So firstly, thank you for this call, Nishta. Really grateful to be here. And as you have already told a bit about me, so this is Anirudh Garg. I was All India Rank 2 in January 26 attempt. The first of the difficult attempts. I don't know how many there will be, but let's hope there are not many. So I originally hail from Himachal Pradesh. It's a small town called Paonta Sahib in Himachal Pradesh. And my father's a chartered accountant as well. So you can probably guess where the motivation to
Yes.
pursue CA came from. So I would say he was my first introduction to chartered accountancy
Okay.
and the person who pushed me and motivated me to do chartered accountancy only. So like since very early days we had words like taxation, auditing in our household. So when I was young, I used to like not actually understand those, but I was very, you know, intuitive about those words. Like I wanted to know more about them, what exactly that they meant. And
Okay.
auditing
So
was one
it
of the
was like
words that
uh,
meant a lot.
you were excited about it since the beginning, or it is like your dad asked you to choose CA?
No, actually, in the early days, I would say I was very excited because, as I said, like I heard from my father, like when you go for auditing, everybody is like giving you respect, and you have something of like you're checking someone's else's book, and that was something that was blowing my mind away, I would say.
Actually, my dog interrupted in between what
No worries,
the
no
door was
worries.
open and he just walked in. So he
No,
just
no
ran
worries.
off.
Mine is also sitting at the back, so
Okay, at least he's
that's not
peaceful,
him.
right? My dog was climbing the sofa to just check what's
No
happening.
worries, no worries.
Okay,
No
so did you
worries, no
ever
worries.
doubt yourself during the course that CA is not made for you, or is it like tough? What have you gotten yourself into? Did such thoughts come?
Many times, I would say, like, it's something that you have to go through in your journey. It's not
Mhm.
like you don't have doubts any time in your journey.
Right.
Mostly they came around before results. Like,
Okay.
you have a lot of doubts before result that will you be able to pass this attempt or not? Will you score good? Will you get a rank or no? So there were many doubts. Mostly, I would say there were also doubts between your study leaves because when you're studying for final, that you are at your home, you have like n number of revisions. You feel like you're very burdened by the studies. So
Mhm.
there are doubts. I would say it's not that you don't get doubts even if you get a rank.
So, like, how did you deal with those doubts?
So I would say you naturalize those doubts. You feel like you have doubts and then you flow through them. It's not like you have to be very mindful of them. It's something that you accept as it is. So if you have a doubt, you study more, and that doubt will eventually vanish away. So
Hmm.
it's not like that will stay in your whole journey.
Right.
So
Right.
I would say any person who has doubts should probably study more, a bit more. And if you're feeling burned out, because that is something that
Hmm.
you feel a lot in your journey. So if you're feeling burned out, you can take a day off at least, and then
Right.
maybe work yourselves again in the next day.
Okay, perfect. Now coming to your All India rank two, how did you react when you saw your result? Like, were you anticipating to get a rank, or did you somewhere, actually when you study, you understand, and when you give the exams, you already know whether you're going to make it or not going to make it. So, what were your thoughts before? Like, did you start your preparation with the mindset that, okay, God, I'm gonna get an All India rank, or was it just that you worked so hard that you got it? I mean, I just want to know about what was the process and how did you react?
So, in my time, I gave my foundation in 2020 December, and we did not have ranks in that attempt, as far as I remember. And for intermediate, I gave both of my groups separately because I had joined my college and I had actually contracted COVID during that time before my group one preparation. So I gave both of them separately, and it was like a dream to get a rank in CA once. And final being the last attempt, like I could not get a rank after final.
Hmm.
And ICI being very generous, they reduced the paper number from 8 to 6. So I thought that if you're going to give 4 papers earlier in one group, you now have to give 6 paper in both groups. So it's not that big of a deal. So
Okay.
I had prepared with the mindset of rank only in my study leaves. I gave my exams. The exams were very different, I would say. Not difficult because the definition of difficult has changed.
Hmm.
So they were very different, and I was sure that I would score well. I'd pass,
Okay.
obviously, but
Hmm.
for rank, I would say I was sure to get a rank between 30s to 50. I would say no one is pretty sure about getting rank in top 10 because that is something that is not only on your own preparation, it's also a bit of luck to get a rank between your top 10.
True.
And
True.
top three is, I would say, it's a dream only. You only
Right.
think about it, you
Yes.
don't actually pray for it. I mean, everybody has a sticker of AIR1 on their desk before like they start studying, but that is something that they only dream of. They don't prepare as such that they'll get AIR1.
Hmm.
And when I got my result, like it was since 11 a.m. in the morning, then they were
Okay.
saying that they'll release the results,
Hmm.
and they released the results around 6 p.m. in the evening. So by that time, I had already lost all encouragement or nervousness. I was like
Oh.
just sitting at my home that let the results please come out today only.
Hmm.
So I was sitting with my dad only. Rest of my family members were doing the stuff in the home because we were pretty sure that the result would not come today. I refreshed the page. The results were live. I opened the results. I
Hmm.
saw my score first, and from that score, I was not very sure to get a rank in top 10 because, as compared to last time, it was pretty low because the
Okay.
paper were, I would say, again, were very difficult in that
Right. Right.
sense.
Hmm.
Then I opened the page for rank as well, and there was a single digit written too. So
Okay.
for 10-20 seconds, I was pretty numb. I was thinking, is it me only? I had to refresh the page 3-4 times. I had asked my father to refresh the page 3-4 times. So it was pretty unreal, I would say. It's not something that you accept as it is. I took a day to accept it, honestly.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I remember like approximately 1-2 minutes after the result, I got the call from BB sir, way before president
Okay.
also. So I don't know how he's so fast with it. He called me, congratulated me, and then I
Hmm.
got call from president as well. And then since our numbers were released in the press, there were n number of calls from all over India, calls from students,
Wow.
calls from teachers.
Wow.
So that's pretty unreal.
Wow, that's like, it's like a dream come true moment. You were not very sure,
True,
and then
true.
you open. And I remember about that attempt because one of my friend was also giving, and he was not expecting a rank, but yes, he definitely was sure about his marks. But I remember, like,
Mhm.
he was also telling he since morning there were updates, ab aayega result, and for afternoon mein they were waiting, ki ab aayega, and kind of holding it all. And then when you see the screen, oh my God, that's really nice. Who would you like to give more credits to for your All India rank? Like, who do you think is, apart from yourself, who is the reason you think that you got an All India rank, or who believed in you so much?
There would not be one person, I would say, because the rank or a success is a accumulation of n number of people, I would say. But to name a few, obviously there are my teachers who guided me through subjects because without them, I don't think so. I would be able to have that much grasp on any subject. I would give major credit to my parents as well because
Right.
during your study leaves, you know the person is very cranky because they have a lot of pressure. You get tensed very quickly, and you feel like pressurized in any small situation as well. So I'd say my parents and my elder sister as well. So she also helped a lot because you have to bear through a person, and also my friends as well, because you have people who
Hmm.
are going through the same journey, they are facing the same kind of issues, so they understand you. So I would say 30% would be my own effort and 70% would be something that
Okay.
everybody has worked upon with me.
Okay. That's a nice. Okay, now coming to your study strategy. How many hours did you actually study a day? People say that you need to study. I'll remember an incident where I met a girl in my orientation course. She was carrying a छोटा सा diary in which she had written dates
Mhm.
and number of hours, like 11, 12, 13. So there are
Mhm.
people who actually believe in studying for 12 to 13 hours, or maybe that's what they say. So what do you actually believe in? What was your study strategy? Was it more about hours or was it about consistency?
So I'll put a study strategy for final only because that is something which you can use in all of the attempts if you are
Right,
able
right.
to study rightly in final. So I would say firstly the most important thing is you have to complete a classes in articleship only, because if you complete your classes in articleship you have a good 6 months 5 months period to revise before your exams. And honestly, I would say there's no set number of hours they used to study. When you
Hmm,
are
hmm,
at your home, you have full day to study. So you can sit for 12, 13 hours, but that is only the hours you have sat for study. That's not the effective hours.
true.
So I would say effective hours, if you can get effective hours to 7, 8 hours out of those 12, 13 hours, then you'll be able to score good. You will be able to pass easily, I would say, and also get a rank, because that's not something that is very difficult to do. People usually don't have that much discipline. Most people don't have their classes completed by the time they go for breaks. So that is one of the core reasons that they don't clear or get a rank.
Hmm,
So again, no set numbers of hours, because once you are at your home, I think you should at least study for at least sit for 12 hours.
right,
Effective, if you are able to get 7 hours, that's more than enough.
right. Okay. So there are like you really mentioned a nice thing about completing your syllabus during your articleship, right? And only then like you can this I can also relate to because I have seen a few seniors of mine who
Mhm,
kind of skipped studies due to the work pressure or anything. वैसे मिड साइज फर्म में उतना प्रेशर होता नहीं है बट स्टिल उनको जो भी रीजन लगाओ एंड देन व्हेन आई थिंक वन ऑफ देम केम बैक फ्रॉम लीव आई थिंक उसको 5 महीने मिले होंगे पढ़ने के लिए ही गेव द
mhm,
जनवरी अटेम्प्ट. Now he might be giving the November one, I guess. No, I think he gave the May one. Anyways, so I could actually see that fear on the face, and that eyes were
mhm,
just a depressed state. So I think कि अगर syllabus नहीं complete करोगे तो I mean एक ऐसा point होता होगा ना when जैसे आपके case में you might be already have studied it, so you are revising it. For somebody to kind of
correct.
start in just 6 months, it would be so difficult. So what according to you are certain things which students should avoid while during this phase? Just like you said, there are some people who actually are not that disciplined. So, what do you think
Mhm,
are certain things they can do? I mean, how instead, like obviously studying 7 to 8 hours
mhm.
productively, that's very nice. How can they bring discipline, or what are the mistakes they should avoid?
So, I would say discipline starts from your articleship period only. I did my articleship from Ernst and Young, one of the big fours,
Right. Hmm.
and in statutory audit domain. So, the domain and the firm both are pretty infamous for long working hours,
True.
and that's true, honestly.
Right.
So, we have our peak, we have our lean periods. So, we have both of them. What I used to do is, in our peak, I used to try to study a class in 2 days at least, and in a lean period you try to cover that up. See, in essence, if you are able to do at least a class a day and 2 or 3 classes on your weekend, that way you'll be able to honestly very easily complete your syllabus in 2.5 years. I would say
Hmm.
you might even have a period of 3 to 4 months for before your leaves for revision. So that is one of the things that you have to start. And for discipline,
Right.
during your study leaves, there's no set principle as such that you need to adopt. You'll need to firstly understand that you're giving one of the toughest exams of India. Might be one of the toughest exams of the world also.
Right.
and this requires discipline from your end. Essentially, we are also like preparing to be professionals. So once you are able to, get that feeling inside of you, you'll be able to more understand the importance of those exams. And again, you can have a set of goals in your mind. So I used to plan that in these 15, 20 days, I'll be able to complete my first revision of FR, let's say. So that way, if I'm able to complete that target, I know that I'll be able to complete the revisions in time. If I'm not able to complete that target, then there's a dread in your mind that you will not be able to complete the revisions. So I think you have to channelize that dread in a better way.
Correct.
Rather than stopping studies, use that fear so that you'll be able to study more effectively.
Okay, so it's more about setting small targets and achieving your goals
Hmm.
and also being serious about what you are appearing for. Now, coming as you mentioned
Correct.
about FR, something hit me. What was your subject-wise strategy? Like for every subject, what was something you
Mhm.
differently did, or maybe how you managed to cope up with that particular subject?
So I'll say out of all the five subjects, barring IBS, because IBS is a mixture of everything, so
Correct,
it's
correct.
not a subject. It's something you don't understand, honestly. It's something you cannot prepare for, honestly.
Right.
Barring IBS, for the rest five subjects, I was pretty scared of audit. Uh, I
Okay.
mean, for the first 2 months of my study leaves, I was very, very scared of audit because that was something that was not retaining as such in my mind.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
for subject-wise strategy, I think I gave audit every day for 1 hour, 1.5 hour every day. And in audit, I think you should do cumulative revision. So what is cumulative revision? You try to revise the chapters or the portion you did yesterday. So that way you'll be able to accumulate audit over the period. So what I used to do is I started with FR only, along with audit every day with every subject. I divided my 6 months, 5 months actually, approximately 5 months in different sets. Like I divided them into four set of revisions.
Okay.
So I gave 15 days to FR,
Yeah.
firstly, 15 days to AFM, then audit, then DT, and then IED. This
Right.
way, approximately 1.5 months, 2 months goes in your first revision. Then
Correct.
you reduce that period by 60%. So if it's
Okay.
15 days, you give your 9 days to the next revision. This way, you will be able to reduce the amount you take in revision and still be able to complete three, four revisions before your exam. The logic behind this is once you
Hmm.
revise a subject, it is it is very natural to take less time in that particular revision again.
Right. Right. Absolutely right.
And honestly, you'll be very scared in your first revision. I did not remember anything from FR because FR was the first class I took back in 2023. So
Hmm.
it was very, very, very rare to, grasp everything at your first go. So don't be scared about that, I would say. Give every subject importance. And what I did was I gave mock after every revision. So
Hmm.
by the end of four revisions, I had given approximately 12, 13 mocks. So that way you'll be able to, understand where you lack and how you can plan your next revision. So I would say giving mocks is very important, and
Hmm.
mocks should be given in your exam setting only. It's not that you solve mock on your rough paper and you just try to understand the answer. You should give
Correct.
it
Correct.
at least 3 hours, like the exam environment. Give it 2:30 to
Hmm.
5:30. That way you'll not be very scared about exams as well. That helps in many ways.
Right. Okay, as you said about the revision thing, forgetting things, I also kind of how did I start was I also divided that in my first year I'll be covering FR, AFM, and in my second year
Mhm.
I'll be covering audit, IDT, and DT. So what happened was
Mhm.
that I initially started with like 1 week I'll give to FR, then the another week I'm gonna go with AFM, that is completing the chapters. But what happened is somewhere I thought ki it's not working very efficiently, so I said let's go with FR first. Now, what happened? I gave I think 4 to 5 months because the syllabus is too much to actually do it on a daily basis along with articles. So I completed FR and then I switched on to AFM. I usually kind of revised everything at the end of the week. Then I gave everything to AFM. I was studying it. Now, after I say, let's say 3 to 4 months, I opened my books again for FR. And except for some chapters, I felt as if I didn't knew anything. I was like, how could I forget it? So I can actually relate to that point that you keep forgetting things. But when you naturally again start to revise it, slowly it all starts to make sense again. Now coming to the audit thing. This is kind of a personal question. I also hate audit, not because of the subject or anything. I actually don't even like to do it at work also. I prefer to do other things as compared to if I'm going on an audit, I just go there to make the reports and I delegate everything to everybody that you are gonna do this, you're gonna do this. So only for specifically audit I'm asking because I'm not very good at cramming up stuff and giving it in the exams. So like people say that you need to devote an hour daily to audit. So what do you do in that hour
Mhm.
actually? Are you just cramming up things or revising it in your head or are you doing any kind of writing practice? I just want to know about audit.
So let's start with day one. So let's say today is day one of your audit revision,
Right,
and let's say you have picked up essay and you've started with essay 200, 210, and let's say you are doing those two essays only. So you try to read through those essays essentially. I would say I'm pretty against cramming for audit
okay,
because cramming has its limits. You
right,
can maybe use mnemonics, that I agree with.
hmm,
I also use mnemonics.
hmm,
Mnemonics are okay, but cramming is something that will not take you very far because ICI
exactly,
is also using exams as a way of, you know, eliminating that cramming factor. You
hmm,
have audit exam which requires application as well. And
right,
essentially, you also have MCQs as well. So 30 marks of your MCQs essentially come from understanding. That you cannot cram. So let's say you're devoting 1 hour today, you try to understand the topics.
hmm,
You have, let's say, completed the material in 45, 50 minutes. Then you take 10 minutes to jot down whatever you remember, rough only. You don't need to like write it in full. Just
hmm,
try to make pointers in rough copy that how much I remember from that 45, 50 minutes.
okay,
Then when you go for the next day, before going to the book, try to again jot down those points to see how much you remember. And once you're
so
done with
whatever
that,
I did last day, yesterday, I'm
last
gonna
day,
revise it
yeah,
again.
yeah, then you just see what you have missed and try to understand that. This will take a lot of time, I would say. At least 4 to 5 revisions audit requires. It is more than any other subject because essentially it is purely theory. You don't have practical portion as such. I would say, particularly in CA final, you have scoring chapters like essay and your professional ethics. But that again is not something that you can cram. Personally, professional ethics was one portion that was very easy to understand and is
Correct.
very application based.
Right, right.
So you can use that portion, and when you are doing cumulative revision, you don't revise for a week. You just revise what you did yesterday. And then
Oh,
once you're done with your whole syllabus or half of the syllabus, then you revise
hmm,
only.
okay.
So it's just a game of revision. And in audit, I would say it's more important to give marks than any other subject because CA final audit is very large. You cannot write everything. It's very difficult to write everything.
Hmm, hmm,
So try to give as many marks as you can because that way you'll also have writing practice for audit because mostly we think we know absolutely everything about audit, but when we try to write it in on paper, it's very difficult to write.
right.
And sadly, we have to copy the institute material or the teacher's
Hmm,
material to some extent because essentially it is one of the only core theory subjects in final. So I think ICI requires a bit of, I would say, strictness in that particular subject.
right. Okay, so it's more about revising it on a daily basis, learning
Correct.
and writing whatever you can memorize, and the next day again begin with
Mhm.
recalling. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna apply
Correct.
it, sure. Now, coming to how did you manage stress and what was your exam hall strategy? I mean, I remember in your attempt, I think AFM was hard. As far as I know, there might
Mhm.
be other subjects also. So, what was your exam? What is your exam hall strategy for subjects which actually make students go crazy? Like they give them panic attacks or something. How did you kind of manage in exam hall? Was there any strategy behind it?
Actually, there's not anything for exam level stress you can
Hmm.
do. So once you go to your exam hall, you will have stress. That is something that you cannot. I would say that is not something that you can cater to before your exams.
Right.
Anything you can do to reduce it to some extent is mocks again. Try to give mocks in exam environment. That way, your mind, uh, I think your subconscious already knows that you're giving a paper only. So I think mocks help in that. And essentially, when you are in your exam hall, you have to understand one thing. It's an exam which is going to test your everything that you have done till up till now. So it's not a war. It's not something that will get you killed or something. So it's
Correct.
an exam in a sense.
Hmm. Hmm.
So try to write that, and once you give your first exam, usually if you talk about final, it's FR. Once you are done with your FR exam, it's comparatively easier to study for other subjects, because once you have given exam, you already know about the reality of exams. You know that you'll have to give 6 more, 5 more
Right.
exams. So
Hmm.
that's something that you naturalize only. So there's nothing you can do apart from giving mocks to some extent.
Okay.
But then again, just a mental game.
Hmm. Okay. So now coming to distractions and everything which people talk about, how did you manage your distractions, or maybe control your social media if that was a problem?
Uh, I would say Instagram is one of those apps I use a lot. And before my study leaves, I had deactivated my account on Instagram. So that is something that you can do. It's very easy to deactivate, I would say.
Yeah.
Just deactivate that account. Maybe if you don't have that much control on you, you can deactivate the account and you can maybe switch to a more normal version of phone. Maybe a phone that has only keypads, is not a smartphone, something
Hmm.
of that sort.
Hmm.
In essence, it's not something that you can listen to from someone and stop your distractions.
Yes,
We
obviously.
all know that what is something
What's
that
the
is
problem?
distracting
Right.
us.
Hmm. Hmm.
We just have to stop that and try to answer to the trigger. So let's say you use Instagram when you are at your bed. So remove your study environment from your bedroom, maybe study in your drawing room, maybe study on your dining table, so that you don't get that trigger to use Instagram. So
Correct.
that is something that you can use. And I would say it's not required to be too cut off from the world, because if you're too cut
Hmm.
off, you'll
Hmm.
face burnout very easily. Try to
Yes.
have one, two friends, maybe possibly in same course, maybe for same attempt as well. That way you
Hmm.
get updates very easily. You can share your queries, you can share your doubts with each other, and you don't feel alone. So,
Right.
see, 5 months is a long period if you're sitting at home just studying. You are not
Hmm.
going anywhere, you're just sitting at your home. You
Right.
just have those five, six subjects, you have a bundle of books, you have a fixed space you are waking up and sleeping in. So, you have to have a social circle that's not distracting, but at least you don't feel less of a human. You don't have to just study,
Right.
study, study.
Okay.
Maybe have a good set of friends and just try to relax yourself as much as you can.
Okay, so it's more about, again, it's like really subjective person to person, whatever your
Correct.
distraction is. It could be social media, it could be a relationship, it could be maybe the environment at the house or anything. You just need to
Mhm.
identify it, and then maybe if you're not ready to cut it off completely, reduce it to a great extent. Okay, perfect. How has your life changed after becoming an All India ranker? And what are your, or how do you see yourself like 5 years down the lane, doing a job or starting your practice or maybe joining your dad? Or how is it going?
Um, I would say there's a lot of attention when you get a rank. Usually, when you get top three ranks, and with attention comes a lot of expectations as well. People
Correct.
expect more from you. You expect more from yourself as well.
Right.
So that is something that is positive and negative as well. So you feel sometimes you feel burdened over on your own achievement as well. So that is something I would say it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. I would
Hmm.
say everybody should feel burden of their own achievement. But I would say getting a rank has not changed me as a person, and it's something that you enjoy for a month or 2 months max, and then
Okay.
just go on with your life.
Okay.
I would be very honest that it opens a lot of avenues for you.
Right.
You get more offers, you have a ease of doing jobs, and you can probably select a particular few jobs as well. And that is something that is way positive of getting a rank. For 5 years, I don't actually plan that much. I usually plan for 1, 2 years down the lane because 5 years is a big period of time. You don't know where you will be, what you want to be. So,
Correct, correct. Hmm.
one thing I'm certain, I won't be joining my father's practice because I'm pretty against practice, I'd say, because that is something that did not, you know, encourage me to do articleship from Big Four. I did from Big Four because I wanted to, move out of practice only.
Okay.
No tough choice against practice. I'm not denying that practice is not good or is it bad, but it's just a personal choice of not doing practice.
Correct, correct. Right, right.
Probably would be doing a job. Probably
Hmm.
might be doing something else somewhere else. So let's see.
Okay, that's still yet to come. Okay, now before we kind of end it, I just want you to kind of give three things, like three tips to the students who are going to watch this video and break one myth about CA.
Okay.
Hmm.
For three tips, I would say one tip would be don't juggle between your teachers. If you have taken classes from one teacher and you're pretty confident on them, don't go to another teacher or try to do the subject from one more teacher again.
Hmm.
Everybody is a good teacher, I would say,
Right.
and you should choose them once you have your demo lectures done because that way you'll be able to understand how they teach. So don't switch between materials. Second would be have utmost confidence in yourself and also on your teachers as well, because if
Hmm.
you have confidence on you and your teachers, you'll be able to score good and you'll be able to understand the subject very easily. And thirdly would be CA in itself is a long game. No course, I would say, no post graduation course essentially takes 5 years to complete or 4 or 5 years to complete. Usually they are completed in 2 years, 3 years max. So it's a long journey, it's a marathon of a kind. So don't try to run too fast too early. Don't try to, especially in your studies, do everything at once. Take it slow, try to understand the material,
Hmm.
try to understand the subject so that you'll be able to, you know, do the things better in a better way. So I'd say again to reiterate, be very mindful of the teachers you choose. Be confident in yourself and your teachers and be patient.
Okay.
And to break one myth about CA is that usually we say that chartered accountants are very boring. I would say they're not taking me in the
Hmm.
sample
Hmm.
because I'm a pretty boring person. But I've seen a lot of rankers in the MDP as well.
Hmm.
We are more of, I would say, someone who don't have a particular institution as a way of IIM or IITs. Essentially, we don't
Right.
have a college life for CS, but that does not stop a person from being a
Hmm.
enigmatic person. So they're not boring. So any companies out there watching this podcast, so you don't have to remove CS from your cohort just because you think they're boring. So
Yeah.
that is one of the myths.
Okay, that was a perfect myth to break. I thought you might be thinking about something as CA is, or a comparison between CA or MBA, but this was like a
No,
good
no.
myth that you broke. Okay, now before ending, I have a quick kind of rapid fire thing. So I'll be asking the questions and you have to reply. Coffee or tea?
Coffee,
Morning study or night study?
night study,
Audit or tax?
tax,
Online classes or offline batches?
online,
Calculator brand?
Casio,
Favorite CA subject?
AFM,
Most difficult subject?
audit,
One productivity app?
screen timer,
Okay, one book everyone should read.
One book everyone should read,
Hmm.
Intelligent Investor.
Okay.
It's a pretty
One,
big book.
okay. One habit every CA student should develop.
Try to reduce your screen time.
Okay. One word to describe your CA journey.
Uh, Exciting, I would say.
Okay, exciting. Nice. Okay, it was like really, really fun having you here, Anirudh. Thank you so much for saying yes to the video. I know that people are going to see it. Actually, some of my subscribers and also my connections on LinkedIn want me to make more podcasts, and I think you would be the perfect guest to come. Not because it's going to benefit the children, obviously, but also it helped me clear a lot many doubts regarding my studies and everything. So once again, thank you so much, and you are such a fun person to talk to. Definitely not boring.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Okay, thank you so much.